Hey Next Dev people, or YouTube people, or whoever's watching this. It's been a while since I've done a subdivision update. I went and listened to the last one recently, and it was recorded almost a year ago now. And I was saying how we would hopefully be on the market by Christmas. That was Christmas 2019. It's now September 2020, and we have got a lot further. So we had all our designs finalised then, but then we just had all these issues. So we had to negotiate with the neighbour to get the stormwater pipe across his land. We then had to get that signed off by council and Tasrail. Council spec'd a few more details, and once council had finished speccing things and we got all our approvals, we did all our civil works quotes. So tendering for civil works took a little while. I think we went to 6 companies, 5 came back. The 6th was, he's just too busy, he's got too much work on. And we finally got all that lined up, and we were doing our tenders pre-COVID, then COVID kicked off. And so we then pushed as hard as we could to get our subdivision across the line, because we're only doing 7 lots. No matter what COVID turned out to be almost, it wasn't going to be that big an impact on us selling lots. I guess I wasn't really thinking about stimulus packages or any of that sort of stuff, though that could potentially play a role in the last 1 or 2 sales of our blocks if they extend the home builder grant. But so we were pushing from March with our civil contractor and our final designs in place, and it took us until I think July. Yeah, July we had the first excavator on site. It's a pretty slow start, and then August and what are we now, like mid-September, we've had civil works going on. Stormwater system on our block is now complete, both the top part and the bottom part. So top is council, bottom is ours. We always thought we were organising the build for council, but in the end I found out I essentially have become a supplier of services to the council. So I'm building this infrastructure and sending them an invoice for it. I've sent them the first part invoice already. And then I'm warranting it for a year, and they then take over. Well, they take over in the first year, but if any problems are there, they make me fix it. So that was interesting. I didn't intend to become a civil asset supplier, or whatever the correct term is. But hey, what do you do? Yeah, so council part's almost built. Basically, if you look down there in the valley, where the water goes from there down into that creek at the bottom and then out to the river, that bit is going to get built this week. So I believe the excavator will be rolling on there first thing Monday, hopefully. Be nice. And they'll build that. That should see the works, the stormwater works complete. Then all we have is a couple of conduits up the top, the water connections into the water main, and down here, very close to where I'm sitting, in fact, there'll be sewer main connections. So sewer main connections might happen this week. There's a small excavator on site. That's really all they need to get down to the sewer main. And that's it. Civil work's pretty much finished. Yeah, it's time consuming, and the paperwork is the really time consuming thing, especially if you've got something a little non-standard, like where's your stormwater going, under a rail line and across a neighbour's block. So when you're doing the non-standard stuff, the paperwork takes time, and the civil works have certainly taken longer than I thought they would. Like I said, we had a pretty slow start for a couple of weeks. That was really just about building decent access onto site. And it's pretty much, it's gone fairly steadily since then, but we've hit some rock. We had to have blasters in here. So 2 guys basically working for a solid week. That added up pretty quick. I was really surprised at how cheap the materials are. The explosives are super cheap. The guys on the drilling rig and getting them on and off site, not cheap. But they did amazing work. They did really good work. They basically drilled right through it one go in a couple of days, blasted all the way back, and that was it. When the guys dug it out, it was like this beautiful little canyon that the pipe fitted straight down through the rock. When the home builder grant got announced, roughly around then we went to market, basically as the driveways were getting cut in. We didn't have much to show, and it didn't really work. The home builder grant kind of was too short a timeline for people to really take it seriously. For those of you who don't know, it's better. You had to buy the land, design the house, DA the house, BA the house and start construction pretty much in like a little 6-month window. And you had to get a building contract. You couldn't build it yourself. You had to build it with people who were unrelated and unassociated with you. And the timeline was just super tight. And we may not even have titles lifted until next month after. So it was too tight for a lot of people. Basically anything that was ready to go and they were flat, simple blocks, they got bought pretty quick. Pretty much land in Launceston just disappeared. But what that meant is we were on the market, and we've been on the market for probably about eight or 10 weeks. And we sold one reasonably quickly. We had 2 sold before we even went to market. And then we've just sold another one. So that leaves us 4 out of 7 sold. And we've got one guy who's interested in buying 2 of them. If that happens, then we'll have 6 out of 7 sold. And then we don't need the home builder grant to get extended. If the home builder grant gets extended, no matter how many we got, they'll sell off instantly. I mean, these are really good buying. Our cheapest block's 165, our dearest block's 195. I mean, the view is this. And that's I'm on a $175,000 block here. And that's the view. Like, I can see Glebe Farm in front of me and the city. And there's Cataract Gorge over there. And what more could you want? I think in hindsight, these things will have been a very cheap buy for a lot of people. And the longer I've been in property, the more it's kind of struck me that there's, whatever you think things are worth now, in 5 years, you'll have a really different perspective on it. Anyway, take it easy, people.